Is there a hook that makes almost all of your reels go viral? And is it true that toggling off posting to your feed will reset the algorithm and show your content finally to a lot more people? Or how about that using CapCut to edit your reels will actually destroy your reach because they just want everything in platform? Well, I've taken a look at some of these Instagram hacks on the internet and I've done a fact check with each of them. So you'll actually know what works, starting with the first one that actually promises 5 hacks to increase reach on your Instagram reels. And among the obvious, like having a hook in the first 2 to 3 seconds, duh, you've never heard that before. She still does make a very interesting point to which there's a lot of confusion out there these days. Namely, she says to keep the length, the ideal length to 5 to 7 seconds. This is how she exploded her reels reach. And she attributes that to basically short attention spans, right? And basically saying, well, most creators out there say that 5 to 7 second reels are the sweet spot. Now, according to my data, which is a lot of data, that's not really true, but there is some truth to that. A few months ago, I analyzed about 40,000 top performing Reels, Shorts, and TikToks. And for Reels, the average of the top performing ones were actually closer to 60 seconds. So kind of far away from the 5 to 7 seconds sweet spot she's talking about. Now, I've said that once in a video, and ever since then, people come to me showing me a lot of very bad 1 minute long reels that are just not gonna get anywhere because they're just bad. Because, and that's the important thing here, the actual sweet spot of the length of the reels depends. The thing that actually matters is creating videos that hold your viewers' attention for as long as possible. And that only comes down to your skill set. The scripting, the editing, the storytelling, and knowing your audience. And yeah, if you don't have that skill set and just create bad, long reels just because I, for example, said that, you're just gonna hurt yourself more than it's good. Because you're gonna send a lot of bad metrics to the algorithm and then everything starts crashing down. So generally speaking, especially for beginners, yeah, short but very good reels are a lot better than long reels. And this one's actually a very good example of that. It is good quality, right? It's basically there. It's short and keeps people reading, right? Getting the relative average watch time way up. And especially with the other thing that's really important, which is to keep up with the consistency, right? Creating 4, 5, 6 reels a week. Obviously, videos like these need to be in everybody's repertoire because they're fairly easy to create. You can even reuse the video itself. You don't even have to do anything real, right? Just put the camera there, film yourself eating some soup, and you're good to go. Now, the problem with this is, at some point, you're still gonna need some longer, more sophisticated videos to really connect with your audience and to grow fans and people who actually trust you on a deeper level. Plus, demands are rising, content quality is rising because there's more creators who are becoming really good. But yeah, generally, the 5 to 7 second sweet spot is kind of true, but also not, if you get what I mean. Right, so by now we hopefully know the importance of having a good hook, right? I hope I don't have to say this again. And I keep seeing these videos out there of creators saying, use this hook or use these hooks to go viral right now. And this very interesting video of a creator eating soup, by the way, using the very same principles that we just talked about before, says, here's the hook that makes almost all of my reels go viral. Now, obviously the hook itself is pretty good, because what is it? I wanna know, what is actually the hook that makes almost all reels go viral? So yeah, like I said, same principle like before, fairly simple, fairly short, fairly good quality, and some read in the caption. We've talked about this. Now, reading the caption, it's kind of getting meta here again. She actually does a very good job tightening basically the anticipation rope, right? Not revealing what the hook is right away. She says, here it is, but first, share, blah, blah, blah. This is something I kind of disagree with. Then she says, okay, I noticed that whenever I use this word, my reels get the most views and many of them go viral. Curve is going up. I want to know. Did you guess what the word is yet? No, but please tell us. Now, I'll spare you the whole read through, but the magical hook is the word here. Yeah, that's basically all that it comes down to. So just to make you aware again of how content creation works, because he actually does a very good job at it. The essence of this whole video and reel is basically just to use the word here in your hooks, because it's a game changer, right? Now, obviously, this is a little bit of a clickbait thing, but it's actually perfectly executed. But let's talk about what she actually means with that, because there's actually some truth to what she's saying. The thing with hooks nowadays, it's not so much anymore about these formulaic hooks, like, 7 branding secrets you never knew existed. which by the way, I'm not saying you should not use them, right? I didn't say that. I'm just saying things start to change slowly towards a more nuanced era. But there's one thing I've noticed a lot recently, and I've talked about this a lot with my mentorship students. I kind of notice a trend of hooks becoming a little bit more real, right? I don't even know how to put it into words. A lot of things play together with really good hooks nowadays. You know, first of all, you got the overall first frame, then the feel of the whole thing, the background audio, and the way you actually say things and things are happening. And I believe, though in some niches more than others, people are slowly building a bullshit radar, or basically guard towards these overly flashy and super formulaic hooks. Because everybody just seems to say the same things all over again. People just create content for the sake of content, right? I could make a whole series about this. And people just slowly become aware of that. So yeah, G's right, in my opinion. The word here can actually break that guard to some extent that people have. I'll give you actually an example. 3 reasons why you should quit drinking versus here's how I actually was able to quit drinking for good, right? Basically the same message, but between the lines, I would totally gravitate towards the latter because, you know, it's just more real, it's more raw. It still kind of ticks all the boxes. Let me know what you think about this. Now, this next one is quite interesting because it actually has 5.9 million views on TikTok, and it's basically a growth hack on Instagram, especially if you're stuck and can't reach new people. At least that's what he says. Let's take a look together.
Nobody knows this about Instagram. If you post a reel to Instagram Reels only, so you toggle this off and not the profile grid, it gets shown to mostly new people and not your followers. So if you're posting Reels frequently and you want to grow on IG, don't post to your profile grid. I just changed these settings and now I'm growing again. I broke a plateau.
Now, he's basically saying that posting Reels to your feed will only show it in the feed to your audience, and this is why you can't grow because you can't reach new people. Well, this one actually also has some truth to it. And I actually talk about a few similar strategies using this very principle in my course, for example, the IG Black File. But let me give you the gist of it. If you post a reel to your feed, the algorithm will take a look at how people in your feed, aka your followers, interact with it. How long are they staying? Do they share? Do they like? Whatever. Now, let's say you built your audience a while ago, or you were part of some engagement group, or you slightly changed your content, right? Your content style, your topics. The people who follow you will most likely not react like they're supposed to, right? Because it's all a little, you know, off. They'll see your content in the feed, swipe away, because they're just not interested, or they don't even know who you are anymore, especially if you've been gone for 2 weeks, because people just forget. Because people are basically goldfish right now. And if that happens, the algorithm will actually lower your non-follower reach because it looks like your content is not valuable content because your followers don't even interact. Conversely, what our friend, whose name I didn't even read, talking about short form videos, says is actually true. If you don't post your reel in your feed right away, it will only get shown to the Reels feed, aka a totally brand new audience. Now, the problem with that is, in order for that to work, you still need to give the algorithm an idea of who you are, what the content is about by using hashtags actually, right? There's still a space for hashtags, also your caption and, you know, getting some interactions from the right people. And it can take actually quite a while for the algorithm still to understand your content if you just post it to the feed. So it's totally normal. Let's say you post it just to your feed that you get 20 views, right? For a while. In the background, the algorithm still tries to figure it out somehow. Sometimes after 3 weeks, people get lots of reach. So don't expect to blow up immediately like he showed in this video, obviously. On the other hand, if you have followers who you'd consider the right target audience for your current content, right? You'd be just stupid not to include your content in your feed. And I have heard from some sources that they're actually playing around with the idea of removing that feature altogether, Instagram. And yeah, here's actually a little bonus tip from my programs, basically. You can actually remove your post, your reels from your grid, from your feed after, let's say, an hour or 2 and see what happens. Because sometimes, you know, initially the first 30 people that see it of your followers react well, and then kind of the bigger, because it always expands, the bigger part doesn't really react to it, and this is why the reach usually fades out. But if you remove it after an hour or so, sometimes it gives just the right amounts of data to the algorithm, and you'll get pushed to a lot of more new followers, non-followers, basically. Now, speaking about the algorithm, I have heard recently from multiple sources that using an external app like especially CapCut to edit your videos will lower your reach because Instagram just doesn't like it. You know, being basically from the same parent company as TikTok. So it kind of makes sense, right? If you listen to it, there's lots of people saying this. Well, here's what's up. I've done extensive tests during the last run of my creator mentorship program, and I have not found any 0% correlation in my data, in the metadata of the videos, nor in the reach, nothing related to it. Now, if you're the tinfoil type of person, which is all right, but if you really want to make sure, just change the file name after you exported it from CapCut, because technically they could kind of recognize, well, this is the file name structure of CapCut. Not saying this is the case. Actually, I'm certain that it's not the case. But for the nervous ones, right, change the file name and you're 100% good to go. I actually would even recommend using CapCut over the Instagram editor just because it's a lot better and easier to create good content or higher quality content, higher quality editing, especially as a beginner, because CapCut is actually pretty good and it's gotten pretty sophisticated. Even for me as a seasoned editor, I sometimes use it. So all good, remove all the tinfoil hats or actually just leave them on because it's the aliens. Now let's talk about story reach because it seems to fluctuate quite a lot recently, right? A lot of ranges between story views. And some people say that using a poll as the first story of the day will actually increase your reach for your subsequent stories as well. So if you want to know the answer to this one, make sure to watch this video next to get this and more of these myths and strategies deconstructed.